Me, can you focus on me? Baby, can you focus?
What's up, y'all? It's your girl JJ and I'm back with another video. So y'all, I'm coming at y'all with another story time, but before we get into the story time, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Y'all, we're gonna address the elephant in the room. I know it's been about good like 2 weeks and I just moved, so that's why I haven't been recording any story times, but I'm back. So yeah, let's jump right into this video. I don't know what I'm gonna title this video at all, but this is basically gonna be a video about how I linked with this boy for the first time and his baby mama, his girlfriend. I don't know who she was, but she climbed through the window and he beat her up, and it was a crazy night. Okay, so let's jump right into this video. Okay, so y'all, around this time, me and my ex, we had broke up, and this was like our first breakup. We used to break up a lot and make up a lot, but this was the first time we broke up. And y'all, I just knew that we wasn't gonna get back together. Like, I just knew. And the whole time we were together, well, majority of the time, I want to say probably like about 2.5 of the years that we was together, I always had my own apartment. Like, I kept my place, but I did move in with him. But I always just kind of just kept my apartment for like my little security blanket, just in case I needed to go back. Because like I said, we used to break up to make up. That was later on, but in this moment, you know, I still had my place. So after we broke up, I went back home. So this was around like March. So prior to that, around my birthday is in December. Around that time, you know how everybody just be giving birthday shout outs and you get new followers and stuff on Instagram. So I was getting all type of new people. And then this boy, we're gonna call him, in this story time, we're gonna call him Travis. So Travis came to follow me. So as soon as I seen Travis come follow me, I instantly clicked on his profile, you know, looked at his little Instagram, and I'm like, okay, Travis is handsome. I don't really do light-skinned men, but he was cute. Like, he was like that dirty light skin. That's what I like. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and follow Travis back. So I followed him back, and that was about it. I want to say like a couple days after that, we kind of would like each other pictures back and forth. A day go by, and then he ended up sending me a DM. So he sent me a DM, and I can't remember exactly what he said, but he had said something funny. So, you know, I instantly just responded back, and I was like laughing and stuff, and we kind of just striked up a conversation. But what I will say is, like, y'all, we would really be in DMs like saying stupid stuff like, yeah, when I make it big, when I get I was like, yeah, when I make it big after being a rapper, because I used to call him BG and he'll call me like Lil Wayne or something. I don't know. But I used to be like, yeah, when I make it big, I'm gonna make sure I take care of you and the fam. Like, y'all, we was saying some stupid stuff, but we would really just be like in the DM, just like joking around and just like saying little funny stuff. And he's like, yeah, I got you. Yeah, when I touch my first 100 mil, like, I got you. I'm gonna buy you a house. Like, that's kind of like how the conversation would go. And I would tell him like, yeah, when I make it big, I got you. I'm gonna buy you a G-Wagon. Like, we're gonna be some real rappers. Like, we had made up like a fake rap group. Like, he was really, really funny because like, he would keep my attention. And I feel like if you in my DMs and you making me laugh, you got you got a real high chance of probably getting my number, because we over here joking and you seem down to earth. So we would just like talk to each other for like the next couple of days, but it wouldn't be much. It would just be like, you know, saying little funny stuff back and forth, and like that's about it. And he'll probably just be like, oh, like, what you doing? And we'll just be kind of like talking. So one day he asked me for my number. I ended up sliding him my number, and I was just like, okay, like, hit me. He ended up hitting me up, and we're just like texting back and forth, and he was just telling me like where he lived at. And I'm like, okay, like, I live in Hawthorne, and you know, we're just like having a little deep conversation, kind of getting to know each other. He was a little on the younger side, and I really don't like younger boys. Like, y'all know I like them 35 and up. But it was cool. I'm like, okay. He was probably like in his late 20s. So I'm like, okay, it's cool. It's whatever. But he was funny, y'all. We would really just be like texting back and forth, like being so funny. So he was asking me like, when can I see you? And y'all know how I get. Like, I do not like linking with nobody. Like, just because I give you my number don't mean I want to link with you no time soon. Like, can we text back and forth and I kind of get to know you first before we link? Because how I know you're not gonna be a weirdo? I feel like people kind of show that they weird over texting, so it's like it give you that chance to be like, yeah, no, you never gonna see my face. But I was just like, okay, like, one of these weekends we kind of like, we can link up. So that was that, y'all. Like, we would talk every day, and it would just like be kind of like texting and stuff. We kind of talked on the phone probably like one time, and I don't, did we ever FaceTime? If we did, I don't remember, but that was that. So, y'all, when me and my ex would break up, I would be so hurt, like so hurt. So, I was trying to go out all the time. Like, I did not care what time it was. I wanted to go out damn near every single day. It wasn't even the weekend, and I was trying to go out because I just needed to just feel that void because I was so used to him, and it was like that was my best friend, my love. That was like everything to me, and I just felt like I need to be out drinking or doing something. So one day my sister hit me up and she was just like, "Oh, I want to try this place in Hollywood and yeah, like we should go out." So I'm like, "Okay, cool. I'm gonna round up the troops." So y'all, I ended up hitting up my sister-in-law Melinda and I ended up hitting up my other sister Nene and I was just like, "Oh, Simone want to go to this place in Hollywood. Like, do y'all want to go?" They like, "Yeah, we want to go." So I'm like, "Okay, cool." They live like an hour away, so I knew I had to be on that side. So that way we could all just ride in one car because I'm like, I'll just go back to my sister-in-law's house. So we ended up doing that. I had went there like earlier that day and I was just like, okay, cool, I'll just get dressed up over there and then we could just head to Hollywood when everybody's done. So we put the plan in motion, y'all, and I was excited because I'm like, okay, cool, like we about to be lit because y'all, when we link up, we're lit. Like we don't have to be drunk, we don't have to be nothing. We're just naturally just fun. So I'm like, okay, I already knew what I was gonna wear. I wasn't even trying to dress sexy. That's the crazy thing. I was literally putting on anything. And I want to know why I was putting on anything. I had on like some biker shorts, a black t-shirt, some Jordans, and like a jean jacket. And I had my hair in like two buns. If I find some videos or some pictures from that night, I will insert it. Y'all know I like to insert the pictures to kind of give you all a better visual. But yeah, so I'm like, okay, cool. I already know what I'm gonna wear. I already know how my hair gonna be. I'm cool. So my sister-in-law, she had got her little outfit together, and then I ended up calling my other sister Nene, and I'm just like, okay, girl, like we're gonna leave around this time. Meet me up over here so we could all just ride in my car. And then we head to Hollywood, y'all. So as soon as we got there, we ended up linking with my sister. We all just like parked and stuff, and then we headed to this like little hookah lounge. So we get to the hookah lounge and we're just like chilling, vibing, smoking on a hookah. We ordered some food, some drinks, and we're just vibing, y'all. Throughout the night, I'm pretty much just like texting him, like, "Oh, I'm in Hollywood. Like, what you doing?" And he was just like, "Nothing at home, chilling. Like, you should come see me, like, when y'all done." And I don't know, y'all. I swear, I really don't know why. But I was just like, you know what? I could pull up on him and just like kind of just like see what he doing and kind of just like give him a hug or whatnot. I don't know why, but when I'm with my sisters, like I get that type of, I don't know, I get that courage to be like, okay, I'll just link with somebody. And at the time, I wasn't in a relationship. I was broken up. So it was like, okay, like, let me just see what he on. I'll just pull up, give him a hug, you know, like that. So I'm just like telling them like, y'all, I want to go see this boy after we done. And my sister's like, go see him. Like, it's nothing wrong with you just pulling up on somebody, seeing them or whatnot. Like, do your thing. So I'm nervous, but I'm like, you know what? This is probably going to be the only time I see him. So I might as well just like do it. So we're vibing, having fun. We're just like chopping it up. We're talking. Eventually we leave the hookah lounge and we're still just like walking down Hollywood Boulevard and we're just like talking, laughing, seeing all the crazy stuff that you will see in Hollywood. And I'm still just texting him and I was just like, okay, like when I'm done, I'm gonna hit you up to see if you're still awake. So he ended up sending me his address and I kind of just like mapped it to see how long it would take for me to get on that side. And at this time, my sister-in-law, she don't really drink, so she was gonna be driving. So I'm like, okay. And y'all, every time I would break up or when me and my ex would break up or whatever, Toxic Man will always hit me up. I don't know how he knows that I would be broken up with my ex, but that's when he would always hit me up. So he ended up hitting me up and was just like, "What you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, nothing in Hollywood." He was like, "Pull up on me, like I want to see you." So I'm just like, here we go. But I was like, whatever, I'm gonna pull up on him too. So eventually everybody just like ready to go or whatnot. So I said goodbye to my sister because she had drove her car, so she ended up leaving. And then me, my sister-in-law, and my other sister Nene, we ended up leaving. I had my sister-in-law drive me to Toxic Man first because I'm like, okay, he's on our way. Like it's like kind of like in the middle, so I'm gonna just pull up on him, give him a hug or whatever. So I pull up to Toxic Man auntie house. And he get out the car, I get out the car, we hug, and he ain't seen me in a long time, y'all, because this was like the last time I had saw him was probably when he left me in that room. That was the last time I had seen him. So it was like all them old feelings trying to come back, but I just didn't want none of that. Like, I didn't want none of them problems because he loved to be like, oh, I'm single, I'm not in a relationship. He knew how they just like, I don't know why that man would manipulate me, but he did. So we just like kind of like hugged up, and he's just telling me how he missed me and how he want me to be his again, yada yada yada, doing all that stuff that he would do every time we talk. So I'm just like, you already got somebody. And of course he started lying, because that's all he would do was just lie about him being in a relationship with his baby mama. And he know he love his baby mama. So I'm just like, oh, okay, yeah. But we're just like talking and stuff. And then I was like, okay, well, I gotta go. Like, they getting tired. So I get back in the car, and then we head to Travis' house. I'm nervous, y'all. Like, I am so nervous. I'm telling them, like, oh my God, I ain't never seen him before. Like, this gonna be my first time seeing him. I'm super nervous. And they're like, girl, like, it's okay. You're just pulling up to give him a hug and just like talk to him. So, you know, like, you ain't gotta be nervous. So I'm just like texting him, and I'm like, okay, we're like 10 minutes away. We're getting closer, y'all, and my stomach is just doing all type of just movement. Like, I'm having butterflies. Like, I am nervous as hell, because I'm like, I don't like meeting people for the first time. I get so much anxiety, like, ooh. So we're like 5 minutes away. I tell him like, oh, I'm 5 minutes away. He was like, okay, well, I'm gonna get in the shower. So I'm like, what is he getting in the shower for? Like, I wanted to tell him, listen, you ain't gotta get in the shower. It's like 1 a.m. If you ain't took a shower now, you ain't gotta take a shower. Like, you're good. But I'm thinking, like, I hope he don't think that I'm pulling up to like do anything. Like, that's another thing. I don't be thinking things through. You trying to pull up at 1 a.m. Like, of course this man's probably thinking like, she pulling up at 1 a.m. She probably like wants something. Like, she probably faded in. Yeah. But I'm like, okay, let me at least just give him a chance. So I'm just telling him like, oh no, like, you're good. I'm just pulling up to give you a hug. He was just like, no, I'm gonna just jump in the shower real quick. So I'm like, all right. So we get there. He was still in the shower. So we just like sitting across the street in the car. So I'm waiting for him to text me. Eventually he texts me. He was just like, okay, like, I'm at the door. So I get out the car, and I just told them like, I'll be back. Like, I'm just probably gonna be here for like, you know, like 15 minutes, 10, 15 minutes. So they're like, all right. And I'm walking so slow because I am nervous. And he's sitting in the front, like, with the door open. He's just like standing there. So I get closer up on him, and then he opens the door even more, and then he comes out, and he just like, what's up with you? And I was like, nothing. And we kind of just like hugged and stuff. And he was just like, all right, like, come in the house. So I kind of like paused for a minute, because I'm like, oh, I hope this boy don't think. Like, I really hope he don't think nothing. So we end up going in the house, and y'all, it's pitch black. Like, it's dark as I don't know what, and it's the heater is on, and it's hot. And I was drinking a little bit, so I'm like, damn, it's hot as hell in here. So we go into his room. As soon as we go into the room, y'all, I look, and I see a thing sitting on the dresser. So I'm like, oh, I hope he's not one of them paranoid ones that think I'm trying to like set him up or something. Because I swear, I don't know what it is about niggas thinking that I'm trying to set them up, but I am not like that, okay? I gotta put my voice on for that, because I would never. So he was just like, okay, like, you can sit down. So I sat down on the bed. Mind you, he just got on boxers and some shorts, no shirt. So I'm like, oh, I hope he don't think this about to go down, because I am not, no, So we're just like talking and chopping it up, and he's funny. He was still funny in person too. So it kind of like, I wasn't nervous when we started like talking and stuff. So we're just like making little jokes, and he had the TV on. So he had the TV on, but the lights in his room were completely like, it was off. So we just like laughing, and he was just like, what you was doing in Hollywood? And I told him, I'm like, just went to the hookah lounge, and we just like walking up and down Hollywood Boulevard, and just like, you know, just doing what you do in Hollywood. So he was like, oh, okay, like, I ain't been out there in a minute. Like, last time I was out there, some niggas try to, you know, get me. And I'm like, what? He was like, yeah, I was down there, and he said he had went up in, I want to say like maybe like Denny's or something, and some niggas tried to like rob him, like can I say that? Some niggas tried to take his car, and he had to it was just like a lot going on. So I'm just like, word? Like, what? So he's just like telling me this, and I'm like, oh my God, like, that's crazy. So we're just talking, y'all, just sitting there talking. And I would say it wasn't moments where it was dry. Like, we just like really just talking. So, and mind you, the way his bed was, like, he's on one side of the bed, I'm on one side of the bed, but I kind of got my leg up, and we're just like talking, like, you know, like that. So he was just like, I don't know what made him say this. I guess his intrusive thoughts won. I don't know. But he was like, so, shut up before I snatch that ponytail off your head. I snatched your ponytail up off your head. And I was like, what? Like, y'all, I started dying laughing, but I wasn't loud because I could tell that wasn't his house. Like, that was his mom's house or something. Daddy house. I don't know who house it was. But when he said that, y'all, I started dying laughing because I'm just like, why would you want to, did I tell him that? Why would you want to snatch my hair off my head? He was like, I don't know, but I'm going to snatch your ponytails off. Y'all, and that was so funny. Like, it was so funny to me. So we both just started dying laughing, right? And so he ended up cutting on the light. So when he cut the light on, like I could really like, even though when he opened, like when I walked up on him, I can pretty much get a good look at him. He looked like his pictures. So I'm like, okay, but I can really get a good look because now it's super bright in the room. So I'm just sitting there smiling at him. And he like smiling at me. He's like, what you smiling at? And I'm like, nothing, what you smiling at? So then we start laughing again. Like, yo, we act like two little big kids. So as we just like laughing and joking back and forth, he's like texting, but he didn't really have his phone. Like he wasn't on his phone like that, but he'll be like texting, then he'll put his phone down, then he'll get another text and he'll put his phone down. So I'm just like, okay, like this ain't my boyfriend, so I don't care who he's texting. So his phone started ringing and he ignored the call. So he was just like, oh my God. And I'm like, what? He was like, nothing. And we just like talking. Like, so we steady just like having our little conversation. So I want to say a good 20 minutes go by. And he ended up cutting the light back off. So when he cut the light back off, we're still just like sitting there. And then like he had like, I want to say about like 3 windows. So it was like 2 by his bed and then it was like 1 bigger window on the side. So I see like some headlights and you could kind of hear what's going on outside because the TV was on, but the TV wasn't loud. So it was just like me and him just, you know, talking. So his phone rang again. He ignored the call again. So then I'm just like, you good? Like, what's you cool? He was just like, yeah, man, these females be crazy. So I was just like, yeah, that's true. I'm like, I didn't have my run-ins with them. So yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Like, these females be really crazy. So we're still talking. And then next thing you know, we hear like a knock on the window. Y'all, I'm immediately scared because I'm like, what's going on? But I already know that my sister Nene in the car and she got her little, so I'm not tripping, but I'm still like low-key scared because I'm like, ooh, what's going on? And the way that my sister-in-law was parked, like we weren't directly across the street. Like she didn't park directly across the street from his house. She kind of parked like a little bit up. So like she wasn't directly, she was kind of like a house and a half, kind of like away from his. So I'm just like, damn, I can't even like, you know, like, oh, so I ended up texting my sister-in-law and I'm just like, do you see somebody outside? Like, do you see somebody like knocking on the window? And she was like, no, like I don't see nobody. I'm like, okay, yeah, somebody just knocked on his window. So as soon as somebody knocked on his window, he jumped up and he grabbed his. So I'm like, I'm scared because y'all, I wanted to run out the house and just run and just fly to my car and leave. So I'm just sitting there and I'm like, I hope this ain't the person that's calling his phone. Like, it'll just be my luck. If that's a female trying to come get her man, come see her man or whatever, like, it'll just be my luck. So I hear a female voice and I'm like, oh my God, why me? Why me? I knew I should have pulled up over here. Like, why did I do it? So y'all, I'm just like thinking of all type of things. Mind you, I'm not drunk, but I kind of got a little buzz, but it's like wearing off. Like I didn't drink that much when we went out, but I still kind of got like a little buzz. So I'm like, oh my God, I hope I ain't got to fight nobody. Like I really hope this girl don't come in here on no bullshit or, you know, like I hope she leave because I have to leave about this house. Like his room was right by the front door. So I'm like, either way it goes, this girl's gonna see me and I don't even know what's gonna go down. So he grabs his thing, he goes by the window and he's like, man, what you doing here? Like, whoa. She's like, why you haven't answered the phone? Like I called you, you're texting me, but you're not answering the phone. Like what's going on? What you got somebody in there with you? And I'm just sitting there on the bed like this, like mouth wide open. And I'm just like, oh my God. So I'm texting my sister-in-law and I'm like, girl, keep your foot on the gas because I keep your foot on the gas. Keep your foot on the brake. start the car up. I'm gonna have to try to run up out there because it's some girl here and I don't know what's going on. And I'm not fighting nobody behind this boy. I don't even know him like that. Like, we don't know each other. So I'm sitting there nervous and they're kind of like going back and forth through the window. So I'm like, oh my God. I'm really just sitting there not moving at all. Like, I'm completely just silent. I didn't even know what to say because I'm just like, this is just my luck. Like, the one time I want to pull up on somebody and just like see them and say hi, I'm like, here I am again, stuck in some crazy So I'm just like, oh my God, how am I gonna get out of this? Like, for real, what do I do? So I'm putting my thinking cap on, y'all. I'm sitting there thinking of ways of how I'm about to get up out of here and how this is gonna go. And I low-key want to tell him, like, bro, just go outside and talk to her. Like, go outside and talk to her and get her to leave. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, y'all, I'm just like sitting there like, oh my God. And then she just started screaming his name. Like, she's yelling his name, like screaming his name. Travis, Travis. And I'm like, oh my God, it's 1 a.m. Somebody's gonna call the police on her. Like, girl, you are tripping. Like, why are you sitting here screaming this man's name? And she's like banging on the window. So I'm like, oh my God, I'm about to have to fight somebody over somebody that I don't even deal with. Like, what? I'm just like, God, if you can hear me getting me about this situation, I promise I won't do this again. I promise I won't do it again. Just get me about this situation, please. So he gets out, he walks out the room, and I'm just still just sitting there. Mind you, where the window where he was at, she couldn't see me because it was like two windows and then the bed in the middle. So she wouldn't have been able to see me. But where he was at, he was just able to just like get up and just kind of like look out the window right there. So I'm just sitting there like, oh my God. So he walks out, and then like a couple minutes later, he come back in the house. He come back in the room. And I'm just like, that's your girlfriend? I didn't know you had a girlfriend. He was just like, nah, I don't have no girlfriend. Like, that's my ex, and she's like doing the most, and blah, 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 blah. So while he's talking to me, like, we're not talking super loud, but we're like talking because the knocking went away, and I don't know if he like went to call her and told her, like, like I'm just in the house chilling. So I'm like, okay, like, can I use your bathroom? Because y'all, I was like, I don't know if she gone. I want to give her a good like 10, 15 minutes before I even leave out, because I'm not about to fight no girl over this boy, and I ain't doing nothing with him. We don't know each other like that. Like, I just pulled up to say hi and just chill with him for a minute. So he like, yeah, come on. So he ended up taking me to the bathroom, and so I go in the bathroom, and I'm just like, oh my God. And I'm just looking in the mirror because I'm like this. I'm like, oh my God. Hopefully he tell that girl to leave. I don't know what to do. So I go back in the room, and as I'm coming back inside the room, y'all, I just see a girl halfway through the window. She is halfway through the window, and he's like low-key trying to push her out, but she's like, I don't know what she was stepping on. I don't know what she was, I don't know, but she eventually got through the window. And when she got all the way through the window, they just started fighting. So I'm standing there like, should I run? Like, should I leave? Like, what do I do? Because it was pitch black in the house. But like I said, his room was by the door. So I'm like, okay, should I just like run out? So y'all, I'm just like standing there because I kind of like froze for a minute. So I'm standing there and I'm just like, no, like y'all, like, like I'm trying to like say little things so that way I'm not like watching a girl just like get beat up. But she was hanging with him. I ain't gonna lie. They was really just like, doing their thing. So I'm just sitting there like, what the hell? But they're just like fighting. Like, y'all, they're really just like sitting there getting down. And I was like, oh my God. And I didn't want to leave because I'm like, what if it's like some other people with her? Like, what if they catch me outside? Like, and I don't make it to the car and they jump me? Like, y'all, I'm thinking of the craziest things, but I'm like, whoa, how am I gonna get up out of this? Like, how am I gonna get up out of this situation? So she's just like, oh, you got a bitch in here? Oh, you're f***ing her? And da 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 da. He's like, you got me up. Why are you here? Don't worry about what I'm doing. And they're just like going back and forth, like arguing and fighting. So eventually he's like holding her down. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I was just like, okay, like while they was doing their little tussling and he was holding her down, I was like, yeah, I'm about to leave. I'm not about to, no. Like, I heard him on the phone calling the police and like telling them like, yeah, ooh, my ex-girlfriend just broke in my house and da 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 da. So I'm just like, this is where I leave because I'm not staying here. I'm like, no. So y'all, I was like, I'm out of here. I don't care who outside. I ended up telling my sister-in-law, like, come closer to the house. I'm like, because I'm about to walk out because I don't know what they got going on, but I'm not trying to be wrapped up in this. So y'all, my sister-in-law was like, oh, hey, like, I'm parked in front of the house. So as soon as I knew it was clear and he was holding her down, y'all, I got up out of there. Like, I ain't left because I was like, hell no, like, no, this is, no. So I get in the car and I'm telling them, I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God, like, what the fuck just happened? So they're like, what happened? Like, what happened? So I'm like, we was in there just like chilling, just like talking. I'm like, he was cool as hell. We cracking up, making jokes and all this. I'm like, then he was like texting back and forth. I'm like, then eventually his phone started ringing. He wasn't answering. I'm like, the girl called him about a good 2-3 times and he did not answer the phone. I'm like, then when I text you and asked you, did you see somebody? I'm like, because somebody was knocking on his window. And I'm like, it was her. I'm like, so I ended up getting up, going to the bathroom. So I'm just like pretty much telling them everything that happened, and they like, what the I'm like, right. I'm like, the only thing about it, she wasn't trying to like go after me. She did call me up, but that was about it. Other than that, like, she was fighting him and they were fighting, and I'm just telling them like, oh my God, I need another shot. Now I need another shot of Hennessy because this thing went left, like completely left. So my sister-in-law was like, oh my God, like, girl, what in the world? So we ended up getting on the freeway and we headed back to her house. And so we ended up dropping my sister, her car was there. So we on the freeway, we just like driving. And then eventually he called me. So he called me probably like about like a good 30 minutes later. And he was just like, you good? You good? I'm like, are you good? I'm like, I'm fine. I'm like, are you good? He was like, yeah, I'm sorry about that. That was my ex-girlfriend. Like, she really just crazy as hell. He was like, man, I ain't messed with her in about like a good month, but she like won't stop riding by my house and like doing little weird shit. So I'm like, how long do you think she was outside? Because you had your light off for hella long, but when you did turn your light on, that's probably when she knew like, okay, yeah, he up in there and he ain't answering my calls, but he texting. Because please believe, if I was texting, well, not my ex, but if I was texting my man and I was out, I wouldn't be outside his house. But if that was me in that situation, I would have felt like, oh yeah, he up in there with a female. So he was just like, yeah, man, like, I'm sorry about that. Like, I hope that don't make you feel any type of way about me. Like, I promise you, like, that's not nobody I've been dealing with. Like, she old news. And he's like, just like, kind of just telling me everything. And I'm just like, nah, you good, you know, because I knew in that moment that I was not going to see his face again. Like, he was not finna see me. I was not finna see him. But I'm still just kind of like just talking to him because I'm like, dang, that's crazy. He was just like, yeah, the police came. Like, I'm not going to press no charges on her, but I needed them to come, like, remove her because she'll be at it all night. He was like, and thank God, like, nobody is home. Like, it's just me here. And I'm like, dang, that's crazy. I'm like, that's crazy. I'm like, imagine if we would have been doing something. Because I'm just like joking. I'm like, dang, that would have been crazy as hell if we would have been up in there like bumping uglies or something. And he started laughing and stuff. He was like, right. He was like, but when you get home, like, hit me up. I was like, okay. Y'all, when I got to my sister-in-law's house, I did not hit that man up. Hell no. I was like, I don't want no parts. Like, because it was like I had already went through that stuff with toxic men. I did not need another man with no drama. And then my ex, I had went through some stuff with him too. And I'm just like, bro, I am not trying to deal with nobody that got an ex, a crazy ex, an ex that think they together, somebody that they are with. Like, I did not want those problems. But I was just like, oh my God, like, y'all, that's the whole conversation. That's all we talked about on our way to my sister-in-law house. And even when we got there, I'm telling my brother, and he just like, what the fuck? I'm like, right. It went left so fast. So eventually I showered, take off my makeup, and then I, get on the couch and I'm just like looking at my phone, looking at my story of everything that I posted that night. And I'm just like, that is crazy. We didn't speak for like the rest of the night, but then the next morning he ended up texting me. He was just like, good morning, like, still just like kind of just apologize about what happened and stuff. He was just like, dang, like, I would never want to put nobody in a situation like that. He's like, but I'm sorry. And I was like, nah, you good, and we didn't really talk like that anymore. We kind of like, the communication kind of just like faded away. Like, we would talk every now and then, and that was that. And yeah, y'all, that is the crazy thing that happened to me. And I think that's not the last time I pulled up on a boy and went inside his house, but that was one of the reasons why I was just like, yeah, nah, I ain't doing this no more. I'm not doing this no more. But do I listen to myself? No. Do I still put myself in situations? Yes. Why? I don't know. I do not know why. I be so dumb sometimes because ain't no way in hell I should have linked and went to his house that late at night on the first link. Like, I know, but my initial thought was, okay, pull up. I'm gonna talk to him outside, give him a hug, let him see my face in person. Like, that pretty much what it was. But yeah, y'all, that was crazy. And my advice, don't be linking with nobody on the first day. I'm sorry. Don't link with nobody that you don't know. But even if it's crazy because it's kind of hard to say that, because you can link with somebody on the first day and some crazy shit can happen. And you can link with somebody on the 10th date and some crazy things will happen. But my advice is don't go to nobody's house. Don't go to nobody else. In all seriousness, don't go to nobody's house. Always meet in a public place until you really, really comfortable with that person, because that could have went left. Like, that girl could have came up in there with her little, and she could have just through the windows. Like, she could have did some crazy stuff, or she could have, came in there trying to attack me. So yeah, it was, I got anxiety thinking about it. But yeah, y'all, that is the story on how this boy that I linked up with, crazy ex-girlfriend, came through the window on bullshit. Like, yeah. But y'all, I love y'all so much. I love y'all, love y'all, I love y'all. Y'all know I'm gonna always tell y'all. But don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I love y'all. All right, y'all.